I was walking toward the train station when I suddenly heard a strange sound behind me. I turned around and saw a motorcycle speeding straight toward me. I quickly ran down a slope and hid behind a nearby barrier. The village chief was afraid of losing talented people, so no one was allowed to leave the village, but I was determined to make it to the big city. Having escaped from the village, I was so frightened that I barely dared to breathe. Before long, several men arrived at the station. They were asking around about my whereabouts, and I watched everything from my hiding place. To avoid being caught, I had no choice but to take a narrow side path. But after only a few steps, I suddenly heard someone behind me. I turned around and immediately ran downhill. An old man was slowly walking in my direction, and I hid behind a pile of hay, too scared to make a sound. Only after watching him disappear into the distance did I finally breathe a sigh of relief. But just as I was about to climb back up, I accidentally lost my footing and slipped down the slope. Luckily, I managed to grab onto some weeds nearby. Although I avoided falling completely, my water bottle rolled down the hill. I couldn't worry about it and hurriedly climbed back up instead, but the desert kept getting hotter and hotter, and without water, there was no way I could last much longer. So I followed the footprints in the sand, chasing after the old man ahead of me. When I noticed the large water jug in his hand, an idea immediately came to mind. That night, after he fell asleep, I quietly snuck into his camp, grabbed some water and food, and prepared to leave. But unexpectedly, he caught me. The moment he was about to speak, I dropped everything and ran away. After running all night, I was completely exhausted. But to make it to the city, I forced myself to keep going. Suddenly, I spotted a small house in the distance. I was instantly overjoyed and rushed over to check it out. Inside, there was a well, but after picking up a rock and tossing it in, I realized it was completely dry. At that moment, I felt utterly hopeless. I had dreamed of going to the city to build a better life, yet before even arriving, I was already about to starve to death in the wilderness. The more I thought about it, the angrier and more desperate I became. Not long afterward, I collapsed unconscious onto the ground. Through my blurry vision, I saw someone walking toward me. It was the same old man I had met earlier. Fortunately, he managed to save my life. The next day, we prepared to head to the city together, but just as we were about to leave, the dog suddenly began barking wildly into the distance. Confused, the old man walked over to investigate and discovered riders approaching on horseback. Realizing something was wrong, he urgently told me to hide. Moments later, two men carrying hunting rifles arrived. They were the very people who had come to take me back.